So we finally received our first electric bill after having our solar panels installed and our meter upgraded, and pretty exciting stuff to see here, so let's check it out. If you end up enjoying this video, please hit like and get subscribed. So this isn't actually my bill, this is just for dramatic effect. But today I wanted to tell you about our first bill after we got solar, and we only had the solar turned on for half the month, and we were still negative for the month. So we produced much more energy than we used, even though the solar was only enabled for about half the month. So for a quick background, my system is 14.4 kilowatts. We have about 37 panels, and if you don't know much about that, it just means we have a pretty big system compared to the average house. In Michigan, we have net energy metering. That means any extra electricity we produce that we don't use and get sent back out to the grid, we actually get paid for. We get a credit. Now, that doesn't mean the electric company is going to write us a check and we get to put that in our bank account, but they will put it on our bill as credits that we can use in the future. In a place like Michigan, that's really important because in the winter, we have a lot of gray, cloudy days, and the days are much shorter than summer. So if we were to have solar and we didn't build up those credits, the winter, we probably wouldn't make enough solar energy to cover everything we were doing. Not to mention, even in the summer, at nighttime or on rainy days, the solar wouldn't be helping us at all, and we'd be paying for all of that electricity, as opposed to during the day when it was sunny out, producing electricity and then not having to pay for that time. If you're interested in solar, this video is sponsored by DroneQuote. Check out the link in the description to get a quote from DroneQuote. They can come to your house, they can do contactless if you want, they bring a drone over, they will take pictures, and they will get you quotes from everybody in your area, and they will guarantee you the best price. So use the link in the description, check them out. The business is veteran owned, they're really nice guys, they know what they're talking about when it comes to solar. They can really help you out and get you the best price for your solar. So how much energy did we produce, and how much does our electric company owe us for that electricity? Well, in July, our system was turned on about the 15th. I think it was the 15th or the 16th of July. And we produced 1.1 megawatt hours of electricity, which is 1,100 kilowatt hours of electricity. You will notice in this screenshot during the month of July that we were producing some solar energy before July 14th when we had our meter changed. On those days, it's when we were using electricity, so I would sometimes turn the solar on if it was like a rainy day. That way it doesn't make too much energy. Or if I was charging my Tesla, I would turn it on and charge my car. Or if we were drying clothes, I would turn it on and we would use the electric dryer. And that way we weren't sending energy out, because before they changed our meter on the 14th, any energy we sent out, we'd actually have to pay for. So if we could use that energy by charging the car or something like that, then I would turn the solar on. So we did produce a little bit before we had the actual meter. It was actually installed on July 14th. Looking at the bill, let's see the credits we got. So if I look at the bill here, you can see this says from July 14th through July 31st, we have an adjustment of $56.41, that's $56.41, and an ending balance of $56.41, because this is our first month where we were able to build up credits on our bill. Now, silly me, I thought because they changed our meter in July, all the electricity we produced in July would be used for our entire July bill. Of course not. They want to get every penny out of us they can. So the electric company made it so that we couldn't use all of our solar credits for the entire month. They started basically a new billing cycle right there on the 14th when the new meter was installed, and it covered that second half of the month. So you will also see on our bill, we owed $15.73, which is kind of weird. Why would we owe any money when we overproduced so much and had $50 kind of banked ready to use? Well, the current net energy metering in Michigan is pretty good. It's not terrible. They don't allow it to cover distribution charges and some of the other things, of course, taxes, and I think there's some type of hookup fee just to be connected to the grid. So those credits cannot be used for that. So we will continue to have a bill for the foreseeable future, but it will be very small. Our bill used to be anywhere from $250 to $300, so going to $15 for half the month compared to, I guess it would have been, let's say, $150 or maybe $125 is a much better bill. So another way we're taking advantage of our solar is we have on-peak and off-peak rates with our solar. So with our plan, from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. is on peak, and from 7 p.m. to 11 a.m. is off peak. That means the off-peak times are cheaper and the on-peak times are more expensive. Of course, from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., we pretty much have sun that whole time. As we get into winter, we won't have sun as late, but most of the time during that on-peak time, we're actually producing more electricity than we're using, so we're sending it out to the grid and we're getting paid for that electricity at the higher rate. Then, of course, when the sun is down from 7 p.m., actually in the summer, the sun sun can stay up past 9 p.m. in Michigan for a little bit there. But while the sun is down at night from 7 p.m. to 11 a.m., all during that time our electricity is much cheaper. So when we need to be using it all night, because of course there's no sun, we're paying the lower rate, and we've built up extra credits to take care of that lower rate. And then the part we have to pay for, those distribution charges, those don't change based off of on-peak or off-peak, and we're always paying those anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So our first month of having solar energy with the correct meter, so we could leave it on 24/7 all the time, not have to play around with switching it on and off, has been really good, even better than I expected. I didn't expect to bank over $50 in only half a month. That bodes really well for the winter, and actually something that won't happen to most people, but happened to us and is really strange. We have 2 meters, so our geothermal is not connected to the solar. It has its own meter, and then we have a residential meter. Our energy company actually had those switched, and so they thought we were using a lot more residential power than we actually were. So at this point, our system is a little oversized, which is a great benefit for us, especially as time goes on. The panels will lose a little bit of their efficiency. We also will probably end up with a second electric car, so in the future we'll use a lot more electricity than we do now. But this ensures that we'll be banking so much extra that the winters will be no problem. Even if they're really gray, the days are short, we're not making a lot of energy during that time, we'll still have plenty of credits to cover all of that. Another thing that's funny is when the system was first enabled, I was constantly checking all the apps to see how much energy I was making, trying to use the energy rather than send it back to the grid because it's better for us to use it. Now I'm a little bit over it. I do still check it out. It is fun to see. I'm noticing now actually that the temperatures are dropping a little bit. We are making more energy. When it gets too hot, the panels don't work as well. They still produce more than we use, but on these cooler days when the sun is fully shining and it's maybe 70 degrees rather than 90, we are making a lot more energy. Overall, the first month of solar has been great. I've made a few extra payments on the loan to try to get it paid off quicker, of course, to save on some of the interest, make this an even better investment. Of course, we'll need a few more months to make sure everything stays working well, nothing goes wrong. So far, there hasn't been any issues. It's been working beautifully ever since it was turned on. If you are interested in solar, check out the links in the description. Drone Quote is great. Tesla, if Drone Quote doesn't do your area, Tesla is really good too. If you're in Michigan, Drone Quote and Tesla both don't function here, so you can use my installer. I have a referral for them, and we both get $250. If you use that, they'll give you a free quote, of course, so it's worth checking out. I'm still so excited about the solar. I think it was a great option. Of course, we need a couple more years, and we'll know for sure. If you have any questions that I didn't answer, please leave them down below. I'd love to answer them. You can even email me. I've been emailing some people, looking over their quotes, helping them out, make the right decision. So feel free to do that. Hope you enjoyed this one. I will talk to you down in the comments, and you will see me in the next video.
So Autopilot and I are happily driving along. So Autopilot and I are happily driving along.